Have you ever wondered why some relationships, despite all the love, chemistry, and passion, still crumble? It's not the grand gestures or the fiery moments that sustain connection. It's the quiet, steady rhythm of consistency. The daily actions, the reliable presence, the small but significant moments repeated over time. That's the heartbeat of any lasting relationship. And yet, we often forget this. We chase excitement, we get distracted, and somewhere along the way, we neglect the very consistency that builds unshakable bonds. Today, I want to remind you, consistency isn't just valuable, it's invaluable. Without it, love becomes unpredictable, and trust begins to rot silently. Consistency is the language of safety because without it, nothing feels real. You can say you love someone, but if you're not showing up with the same energy, the same commitment, and the same reliability every single day, those words become empty. Think about it. How can anyone feel secure with someone whose mood shifts with the wind, whose promises come with an expiration date, whose attention is conditional? The human brain craves patterns. We are wired to find comfort in what is predictable, in what repeats, because that tells us we're safe. When someone you love is consistent, your mind relaxes, your defenses lower, and suddenly, you don't feel the need to guard your heart every moment. But when that consistency is missing, the opposite happens. You walk on eggshells. You second-guess every interaction. You start to believe maybe it's you, maybe you're asking for too much, maybe you're the problem. But the truth is, you're just reacting to the instability. Consistency eliminates that noise. It creates a baseline of emotional safety where you don't have to question, will they be there today? You just know. And that knowing, it's everything. Consistency is also the purest form of respect. Let's get honest here. If you respect someone, you don't ghost them when you're busy. You don't show up only when it suits you. Respect means making space for someone even when life is messy, even when you're tired, even when the spark isn't as bright as it once was. It's about showing the other person that they matter enough to be prioritized, that their feelings are worth considering every day, not just on special occasions. Because if your presence is inconsistent, what you're actually communicating is, you're optional. And no one deserves to feel optional in the life of someone they care about. Consistency nourishes emotional security because at the end of the day, every single one of us is just trying to feel safe with the people we love. You want to know that when you're struggling, they won't suddenly disappear. That if you mess up, you won't be discarded. That when you're not at your best, they're still there, still steady. That kind of emotional security doesn't just magically appear because someone says they love you. It's built over time through the small, repetitive, reliable actions that prove, I'm not going anywhere. And if that consistency is missing, it creates a constant low-level anxiety. You're always wondering when the other shoe is going to drop. You start reading into every text message, every silence, every mood change, trying to decode whether or not you're still safe. That is exhausting, and it's not what love should feel like. Consistency creates the opposite. A space where you can exhale, where you can be flawed, be human, and still feel held. That's the soil where deep connection grows. Consistency also builds trust, and let's be real, trust isn't just built on honesty, it's built on reliability. It's built when you say you'll call and you actually do. When you say you'll be there and you show up. Every time you follow through, even on the small things, you're laying a brick. And with every brick, trust gets stronger. But when your actions are all over the place, hot one day, cold the next, those bricks start to crumble. And once trust is cracked, it's a hell of a job to rebuild. Trust isn't about grand gestures. It's about the little consistencies that tell someone, you can count on me. That's what makes people feel safe enough to open up, to lean in, to stay. Consistency reveals character because anyone can show up when things are easy. When the mood is light, when there are no problems to solve, when life feels exciting, that's when everyone's at their best. But what about when life gets heavy? When the stress is real, when work is overwhelming, when you're tired or things aren't going your way? That's when your real character is tested. That's when consistency becomes the mirror showing exactly who you are. If you disappear emotionally when things get tough, that's who you are under pressure. If you lash out, withdraw, or start playing the silent treatment game, that's your character in action. But when you stay steady, when you keep communicating, When you show love even on the days when it feels inconvenient, that's integrity. That's being the kind of person who doesn't make their love conditional on their mood or circumstances. People remember that. They remember the ones who stayed kind when it was hard. They remember the ones who didn't flinch, didn't bolt, didn't switch up just because life threw them a curveball. Consistency isn't just about the relationship. It's about how you choose to show up in life every single day, no matter what. Consistency deepens intimacy because real intimacy isn't built in the highlight reels of life. It's built in the boring, everyday moments that you consistently choose to share together. We think intimacy is about the deep talks, the passionate nights, the grand adventures. But the truth is, it's in the daily check-ins, the simple gestures, the habitual care. When you ask, "How was your day?" and genuinely listen, every single day, that creates layers of connection. When you remember the small things that matter to them and show up with that knowledge, trust me, that deepens closeness faster than any grand gesture ever will. Consistency counteracts the noise of life because life is noisy. Period. It's loud, chaotic, unpredictable. There are deadlines, crises, distractions, and a million things screaming for your attention every single day. And in the middle of that madness, it's easy to forget the people who matter most. Easy to get caught up in your own head, your own stress, your own schedule. But when you choose to be consistent with someone, you're cutting through all that noise. You're saying, "You matter. I'm still here. I haven't forgotten you even when life tries to make me." That steadiness becomes the anchor for the relationship. When everything else feels like it's spinning out of control, the consistent presence of someone who shows up for you, that's what keeps people grounded. That's what creates a sense of home, not a place but a person. Without consistency, the relationship gets drowned out by the noise. It becomes one more thing on the endless to-do list instead of the refuge it's supposed to be. But when you're consistent, you're reinforcing the bond every single day, reminding them and yourself that this connection is a priority, no matter what else is happening. Consistency is also self-respect manifested outward. When you keep showing up for your relationships consistently, you're not just respecting them, you're respecting yourself. You're saying, "I am a person of my word. I do what I say I'll do. I'm reliable not just for others, but for me." That's a power move, because the way you treat others is often a reflection of how you value yourself. If you're flaky, inconsistent, or emotionally unreliable, that's often rooted in your own self-neglect. But when you commit to consistency, you're building your own integrity. And that integrity becomes the backbone of every healthy relationship you have. So here's my invitation to you: reflect deeply. Are you consistent in your relationships? Are you showing up not just when it feels good, but when it's needed most? If not, ask yourself, what's holding you back? Is it fear, resentment, distraction? Awareness is the first step toward transformation. If this message stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's start a conversation about where we struggle and how we grow. Like this video if it resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to this channel for more transformational insights. And tell me, what topic should we explore next? Your voice matters here. Let's build a community where we help each other grow, one consistent step at a time.